A Court of Frost and Starlight isn't a story about winning battles. It's about what happens after the war is finally over. If you've already fallen in love with Feyre, Rhysand, and the Night Court, this audiobook gives you something just as meaningful. Time with the characters when the fighting has ended, but the healing has only begun. Imagine surviving the biggest challenge of your life. The world expects everything to go back to normal, but inside, you're still carrying the memories. That's exactly where this story begins. Instead of another war, you're given quiet moments, heartfelt conversations, emotional growth, and a closer look at the people you've spent so much time with throughout the series. Sarah J. Maas creates an atmosphere that feels warm, comforting, and surprisingly emotional. The approaching winter solstice becomes more than just a holiday. It becomes a symbol of hope, recovery, family, and finding happiness again after loss. Every chapter reminds you that healing doesn't happen overnight, and sometimes the smallest moments become the most unforgettable. What makes the audiobook even more special is the narration. Hearing every conversation, every emotional pause, and every heartfelt confession brings these characters to life in a way that reading alone simply can't match. The different voices make every scene feel personal, making it easy to disappear into the world of Prythian once again. This isn't a book filled with constant action or endless plot twists. Instead, it's a reward for loyal fans. You get to see relationships grow stronger, friendships deepen, and characters reveal sides of themselves you've never seen before. It fills the emotional space between the major events of the series while preparing listeners for what comes next. If you've ever wished you could spend just a little more time with these characters, this is exactly the audiobook you've been waiting for. It reminds you why this fantasy world became so unforgettable in the first place, not only because of magic and epic battles, but because of the people who make it feel like home. Whether you're revisiting the series or listening for the very first time, A Court of Frost and Starlight delivers an experience that's relaxing, emotional, and impossible to forget. It's the perfect bridge between the biggest moments of the saga and the adventures still waiting ahead. If this sounds like the kind of fantasy journey you've been looking for, you'll find the full audiobook through the link in the description, where you can also start a free trial if you're eligible. Once you hear the first chapter, you'll understand why so many listeners refuse to leave the Night Court behind. Some stories entertain you for a while. This one stays with you long after the final chapter ends.